Several years ago, we had to walk with all of our filming equipment all the way up and around up to the top when we were filming the story of Jesus, because right up there is the fortress of Macherus. That was Herod's fortress. This is where John the Baptist was brought, put in prison, and was beheaded because he had criticized the king for his illicit marriage, getting involved in marriage and politics. That's why he was a martyr, and he was beheaded right up there. This is one of the 5 JP2, John Paul II, pilgrimage sites from the year 2000. Herod himself had sent and had John arrested. Now this is telling the story of what happened here. Herod himself had sent and had John arrested and bound in prison on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip, because he had married her. So he had married in an illicit marriage. John had been saying to Herod, "It is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife." Herodias had a grudge against John and wanted him put to death, but could not do so. And Herod was afraid of John, knowing that he was a righteous and holy man, and he kept John safe. And when he heard of it, he was very perplexed, but he used to enjoy listening to John. On a strategic day, when Herod had a birthday party and a banquet for the lords and the military commanders and the leading men of Galilee, and when the daughter of Herodias herself came and danced, she so pleased Herod and his dinner guests that the king said to the girl, "Ask me whatever you want and I'll give it to you." He had way too much to drink that day. And he swore to her, "Whatever you ask, I'll give it to you, up to half my kingdom." Really a lot to drink. And she went out and said to her mother, "What shall I ask?" She said, "Ask for ask for the head of John the Baptist." Immediately he came in a hurry to the king and asked, "I want you to give me at once the head of John the Baptist on a platter." Although the king was very sorry, yet because of his oaths and all of his dinner guests, he was unwilling to refuse her. Immediately he sent an executioner and commanded him to bring back John's head. And he went and had him beheaded in prison and brought his head on a platter. Now, Luke's gospel doesn't say the platter. This is just a little bit of a gory detail. And gave it to the girl, and the girl gave it to her mother. What she did with it, I have no idea. When the disciples heard about this, they came and took away the body of John and laid him in a tomb. So that's the biblical account. Now, I'm going to read to you from Josephus. So Josephus is writing in the 1st century. He was a Jewish writer, historian, but he was writing for the Romans. And he writes, the dismissed wife of Antipas was a Nabatean princess, the daughter of Aretas. That's his name, King Aretas. And King Aretas was the king of Petra, where we're going, who tried to have Paul arrested. So he's tied in with this. It's a very biblical site, even Petra's. It says that because Herod was afraid, he brought John here. And this is where it says he took him to the fortress of Macherus. And because of his fear of the Jews and because of the promise, he ended up having John beheaded here at the Macherus. I just wanted to read it from the text, but there's a long thing here. I can't find that paragraph. So this is the place where John was beheaded, according to Josephus, the 1st century historian. But the interesting question I want to ask you is, John the Baptist was a martyr for Jesus Christ. No doubt about it. He had his head cut off. Why was he martyred? Because he was preaching about Jesus and baptizing people in Jesus' name? No. He was martyred because he was speaking against the king, the government, about an illicit marriage. He was a martyr because he spoke against the political power about marriage. If you don't think that that's appropriate for us today, because what do you think that we Christians, especially Catholics, are going to get in trouble for in our country? Because we don't accept the LGBT philosophy, because we don't accept homosexual marriages, we don't accept abortion. All of these things are a double-barrel shotgun against the family and human life. The 2 things that are going to destroy civilization more than anything else is, one, when you destroy the value of human life. And this stupid Cuomo now and the governor of Virginia are saying, "No, we're going to let the baby come right out and we'll kill him at the last second." And the governor of Virginia said, "Well, what happened if the baby's born?" "Well, we'll just kill him then because the mother didn't want him anyway." This is ghoulish. This is barbarian. Well, if you have the double-barrel shotgun, you destroy the value of human life, and then you destroy marriage too, Those are the two things that give stability to all of civilization. So we in our country, within a short time, destroyed the value of human life through abortion and all that we're doing now. And then the Supreme Court says that two men can get married, and it's equal to what Janet and I did when we got married, and all of you. Those are the two big, like a double-barrel shotgun right against Western and all of human civilization. And remember that John the Baptist was martyred because he spoke out about that very thing, about the value and the sanctity of marriage, and because of that he got martyred. Don't think that's not going to be happening in our country, where our persecution is not going to come because we love Jesus. It's not going to come because we like Trump. It is going to come against us because we are speaking pro-life and pro-marriage, and believe me, abortion is the #1 sacrament of the liberal left. It is their sacrament. They will fight to the end to defend that sacrament. To them, abortion is just as important of a sacrament to their religion as the Eucharist is to ours.
Child sacrifice.
Well said.
And so this place right here, we need to remember the sanctity of life and the sanctity of marriage, and let John the Baptist be our patron saint of that when we get back home, and do everything we can, even to the point of martyrdom, to defend Jesus Christ and the truth of the gospel.
Another country heard from.
Yes.
At the intercession of St. John the Baptist, to be proclaimers of this mystery, to be unafraid, to speak words of truth in love. Help us to proclaim the dignity of marriage in season and out every day. We ask this through Christ our Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
St. John the Baptist.
Pray for us.